Hey, what's up guys? How's it going? It's Dakota Fishman here, and today we are going to talk about how to pick the leader that you need, and probably we need to talk about why do I use Death Knight, and why on earth should you pick what leaders on the wall. So I'm going to go over and I'm just going to very briefly discuss this with you. So in short, the reason why you pick the heroes that you do, like a leader for example, is based primarily on what exactly are you sending. Are you sending infantry, range, or cavalry? Now, in general, you always want to pick heroes that increase attack, HP, and then anything to everyone would know that if it doesn't have any stats whatsoever, as you can tell as I'm tapping on these, okay, you don't want that as your squad lead. That's the worst possible hero you could pick for a leader. Okay, the second worst leader you could possibly pick is a hero that only provides defense. Okay, those leaders suck too, so don't pick them. Now, in my particular opinion, okay, 50% HP and 50% into, say, attack is awesome. Now, does that happen? No. There's only a few rare cases where you'll ever see stats into 2 stats in attack. There's only a few heroes that you'll notice give army attack. Now, for those of you that are a little confused, look, I'll make it straight and very to the point. All right? When it comes to army heroes are going to give stats to not just infantry and range and cavalry, but they're basically increasing the stats in general for all three at the same time. So you're getting not, 20% into just infantry, you're getting 20% into all three at the same time. Now, of course, when it comes to actually picking your familiars on the wall, in my case, these are the ones that I have access to. But in general, you want to pick heroes like Pyrrhus, or really familiars, I should say. But you want to pick familiars like Pyrrhus because you're going to increase that squad attack. Now, ultimately, the heroes that you want on your wall are going to have to complement what you frontline with. For traps, if you're frontlining an infantry all the time, then it would probably do you good to probably use infantry HP based heroes, and then maybe you want to complement that with more infantry attack. It really depends on what you are aiming to do. Ultimately, the answer, in my opinion, for most people that are trying to counter everything with one unit type, is that you probably then need to consider that really in this game, if you're frontlining an infantry and you're trying to take a hit, say in cavalry, it's going to lose every single time. I wouldn't bother. So rather than do that, pick your wall heroes based on what you plan to defend with, and as long as you've got times, like for example, if you're a rally player, let's say you're rally leading or you're defending a rally for that matter, then you want to pick heroes that are frontlining. So pick 4 heroes that are increasing the attack stat to your frontline, okay? And then ultimately, what you can do with that then is you can kind of give yourself a little leeway. Now, obviously, the reason why people pick army heroes is because if you can't, say, you don't have enough time between 2 or 3 rallies, that's the benefit of an army hero then, because then you don't have to take the liberty of, oh, I need to swap these heroes out for this one hero, yada, yada, yada. That is the reason why you end up having 4 heroes and army heroes, because that gives you the liberty of getting the switch. But it's not as effective as, say, picking 4 heroes that are increasing it by 30% rather than 20% on the attack stat. Now, I hope that kind of clears that up a little bit, but if you're confused, I'll recap this for you. Simply put, if you're using an infantry hero, all right, you need to have 4 of them. And if you're picking a leader for that matter, then your 5th hero, right, it can be anything really. And generally, I would say if you want to complement your, your back end, so like maybe if you're frontlining an infantry, it will never hurt you to then complement it with range. So maybe your 5th hero is a range hero. The benefit is the squad attack is what you're going to get out of it. So by bonusing the other units, you're kind of giving yourself a little bit of a step ahead than most people are going to get. Now with the familiars in this game, I decided to pick 3 familiars that complemented each unit type for the same reason. I can't complement all at the same time, but if I'm defending, it probably doesn't hurt me. Now, of course, I've discussed this before, but like Goblin, Gem and Gremlin, and Trickstar are all giving attack stats. And so when 10% of your troops have fallen, that's an enormous amount of troops that you've probably already lost at this point, but it's going to happen, right? So the bonus is, if you can get them, then it never hurts. Now, I did decide to choose to get Hoarder. That was, just kind of an interesting take on what exactly the shield ability does. Haven't noticed anybody picking up on it, so I thought, okay, I'll go ahead and grab it and see what it does. We'll do more testing with it here to see kind of how it goes. But the main thing, all right, is that if you are someone that is trying to pick your heroes, the main thing that you need to get out of this is that if you are trying to pick a hero, ultimately, in my case, I picked Death Knight because in my case, I just like Death Knight, okay? But Death Knight gives HP to cavalry and he also gives some defense. And there's obviously a handful of people out there that would tell me, well, why are you picking that fifth hero? Because the four heroes that I have already do me a lot of benefit. Now, that isn't to say I couldn't get attack stats, which I think are always great. You should always go after the attack stats because 30% is awesome. And if you can get 50% HP, that's even better, right? But these are the little things that, you have to take into consideration when you're starting out. And so hopefully what you do decide to end up do is you want to make sure you pick your legendary gold heroes. Now, if you don't have them yet, you always want to pick the hero that is of the greatest tier. Now, for some people, they don't have all of the heroes up to gold yet, and that's okay. But what you want to aim to do then is, if you're frontlining an infantry phalanx, and that's the only phalanx you have access to, then chances are you're probably going to want to get your first hero to gold is probably going to have to be an infantry hero. Now, if you're trying to decide, just check the battle stats on each individual hero, and you'll notice that each hero has a different amount of, say attack stats, HP, and defense. And now, like I said, the main thing is that yes, defense is not like it's not bad to have it. It's just not as good. That's the main thing. You definitely don't want to pick some heroes like Trickster or heroes that, I mean, granted, yes, it gives you squad attack, but that's not what you want in the long term, obviously. But these are the little things that'll help you out down the road. Hopefully this helped you out a little bit, and needless to say, I'll see you guys next time.